Last time on Layton's mystery journey, despite a thorough investigation of the clock room in Elizabeth Tower, Katrielle and company uncover no clues. They do, however, get their ears pierced by Azran's rap opera. The team leave the tower, and on something of a whim, return to Chancellor Lane, the street where the Layton Detective Agency is found. And then Katrielle eats a bunch, and we get our daily fashion farthing bonus. Heck yeah. I am wondering... I don't seem to be able to do that from here. Alright, I did want to double check. If I go by bicycle back to the Elizabeth Tower, I wanted to check if I missed any hidden goodies. Because I was very distracted by going over the new assets and channel point rewards last time. And this tree. Get some additional dialogue. The trunk could be useful for something if you say so. Ah, see, you're already finding hidden goodies. That one had a hint coin. Let's see, did I miss anything else? These smokestacks are like a prime candidate for hint coin. Yes, indeed. At noon, Big Ben sounds, unless it's under years of maintenance like it apparently is. The Elizabeth Tower is joined up Westminster Palace. If any of those dialogue boxes stand out, I'll be sure to let you know, but they're just kinda filler text. You don't have anything new to say, do you? Nor do you? What's the motive? Is it all part of some elaborate plot? And who knows? For those who didn't see the beginning of the case last time, you see this part of Big Ben is missing a clock hand. We're trying to solve that little problem. Any spots here worth clicking on? I could re-examine the clock face, but I've done that a bunch. Now let's double check the foot of the tower. Got another hint coin on the left. You don't have any additional puzzles for me. Gonna keep on doing your running thing. Any hint coins in this part of the building? I thought I saw it light up for a second. Oh, it's Gothic Revival architecture. All I'm looking for in a building is shelter. Give me a kennel, I'm happy. Seriously, give me a kennel. And that's not exactly fair to Katrielle. You came in off the street just the other day. She hasn't had time. Her busy detective career to go get you a kennel yet. You can't see the clock faces from down here. You don't say anything new or fancy. There was no overnight problem. Service was done. There has been metal theft in the capital, and the clock hand is made of metal. So is this door. Which is why it echoes when you knock on it. And lastly, double checking inside the tower. There's the serviceman himself, Hans Lipsky. Double check the gears, they're working. Double check the grate, there's stuff underneath us. I was gonna do this extra bit of looking around before the stream, but then when I booted up the game, I saw that it does a little story recap, and I thought that would be good to include at the start of the stream. So my apologies that I'm just taking this little downtime at the start to iron out my completionist side. And that appears to be everything. We'll take our back to the cafe area. The only unusual thing I can think of that's been happening is the disappearing cutlery and silverware, but I don't think it's a case of burglary. We've already read that dialogue on outdoor seating last time. And I already shook that bush to get the hint coin. Chimneys are generally hint coin spots. Double check those. Right? No. You? The Big Ben Banjacks have to rely on me stomach to know the time. Trouble is, it's time for me to go on a diet. Alright, now let the actual mystery continue. Smell that delicious sweet scent. Seeing all these tasty treats lined up before my eyes is making my tummy rumble. You're hungry after that 10-course meal. What Cheryl doesn't realize is that this is 2 days later. At least for us. You know what they say, Cheryl, there's always room for dessert. Now let's investigate all the tempting offerings they have on sale. How about investigating the case? Oh, I say, that pastry chef looks awfully familiar. Do we know him from somewhere? Hello. Looking to take little something on tooth, eh? But can't decide what. You're the serviceman from the clock tower. That's it. It's Mr. Lipsky again. So you run a cake shop as well as being a technician for the clock in the Elizabeth Tower? You must be rather busy. Of course I do not. I'm Alex Lipsky. Running this patisserie, the patisserie is my only job. I'm trying to read a French word in a bad Russian accent, and that did not go well. You'll mistake me with twin brother Hans. He is working in Big Ben, not me. Oh, I see, you have a twin. Well, that explains it. How extraordinary bumping into both of you on the same day. And how interesting that you've both gone into such different lines of work. No, yes. At first, maybe Baker and Technic look poles apart, but there are more similarities than you'll think. Hold on, I'm seeing some frame drops. Okay, it's ironing itself out. Really? What kind of similarities? We must both be good with hands. We always had skills to work with complicated things since we were young boys. My brat works with clocks, I work with cakes, but we must both work with our hands and our hands in the same way. It does sound like you've both chosen very difficult professions. No, yes. Are you coming here to buy cakes, not to talk, I think? Please, take a look and tell me what you want. Thank you, we will. We'll have a good look around at everything. Gonna save so I don't have to redo any of that conversation. Oh, just look at the lovely buns and cakes. Can't quite reach it. We should buy cakes from here for the office. Anything in the jelly beans, jams, love it. Light fixture, clock. Wonder how long we've been here. What time is it now? Oh, that clock appears to have stopped. Perhaps it needs winding up. What a pretty bunch of flowers. That's strange, they smell like sugar. Really? You can smell sugar in a cake shop? Amazing. It really seems the sugary scent is coming from the flowers themselves, though. Pretty cupcakes with rose toppings. These must have taken an age to make. Oh, dusty section. Multicolored macaroon. Hi, Nook. Check out this cake shop. I must find all the suspicious going-ons in this cake shop. Like this giant bear. What a strange place to find a big teddy bear like this. It's so sweet, isn't it? But then, it is a sweet shop. Ha 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 ha. That was terrible, Ernest. What are you talking about? He's great. He's my new favorite character, even though he's really nothing more than your unrequited love interest. Truly terrible. Sorry. I suppose it's just here as decoration, is it? No, Ernest. I mean, it was absolutely awful. Truly awful. You'll just have to grin and bear it. Oh, wait a minute, though. There's something strange about this bear. I do appreciate that Ernest is doing half my job for me. Haha, that is not fair. That is one of my cakes. And, Nick, since you just showed up, I'll let you in on the fact that this is the clock serviceman's twin brother, not the same character. Really? That's not a real bear? I had no idea. You can't tell at all. Is everything in here one of your creations? Oh yes, everything you'll see in my shop is cake or pastry made by me to look like something from everyday life. Well, I can see that you have a rare talent, Mr. Lipsky. It is my fun to see how much like a real thing I can make my creations. I use all different ingredients from around world to make things look exactly lifelike. At this moment, I experiment with wafer. Well, your efforts are certainly paying off, Mr. Lipsky. These creations are capital. No, yes, my customers like it. I want these cakes for presents for their friends and for parties. Air is made mostly from wafer as well, and they are chocolate. Wow, I'm so impressed. Let's have more of a look around, miss. Maybe I'll reinvestigate the clock. Oh, the clock is cake as well. That explains why the hands aren't turning. It is hard to tell, isn't it? I genuinely thought it was a real clock at first. Nope. Do. I haven't changed since the last time. that you asked, but it is where. I'm gonna find like a good icon for it. Rather not zoom in on the entire tablet for this. I guess it's fine. So like there's, I think you asked once before. There is. See this spot? Oh, I clicked on it. Whoops, go back. So this is my tablet. And in between YouTube and Twitter, right there, that's Medley. And that's what I've been using for a while. That said, my new keyboard does work as a MIDI controller, so I have put a very small amount of time into trying some computer-based programs that would allow me to play the music. But I still haven't fully figured them out. Not enough to actually make anything with yet. I mean, for that, there's the FL Studio. I have installed the free version of that, and what's the other? Music Maker 64-bit was on sale from Humble Bundle at one point, so I tried that. So there you go. That's what I play around with, but Medley is the main one. And that's what the end credit song was made with. Now, I'm not sure if that program would be good for importing audio, though. Found a hint coin in the service bill. Oh, and by the way, I took the liberty of making a clip of rap opera. It's a highlight. It's listed as a highlight on the channel now. But the whole rap opera section now has a standalone clip. Let's talk to the suspicious girl. These cakes are simply divine and so beautifully presented, too. Alex really is so talented, he can make a cake in any shape you care to think of, you know. It all looks so sumptuous, I can never decide what to buy. I think I'll have one of these. No. Yes. No. Yes. Or maybe. No. Yes. When I come here, I always end up mimicking the charming way Alex speaks. I thought you'd have a puzzle for me. And coin in the light fixture. Let's look at your shelf. There's a puzzle back there. These shells are full of ingredients. Seems to be very complicated. Even the slight difference in the amount of sugar can result in total failure. Enjoy your lurk, Nuke. Oh yes, miss, you must have extremely good attention to detail, rather like what's required for this puzzle. Puzzle 7, Falling Scales. Here are two sets of digital scales. Displays are both broken in the same place, so the bottom left part of the number does not show up. For example, the number 6 would actually look like the number 5. The sugar being weighed is showing up 1 gram heavier than it is on the left scale, and 1 gram lighter on the right scale. What is the actual number of grams on both scales? Okay, so the puzzle, they're both showing a 9, but it just looks like a 9 because the bottom left portion that's been X'd out is broken. So even if that's supposed to light up, it won't. In addition to that, they're both off by 1 gram each. But that doesn't really change the grand total. Like, if they both displayed a 9 and one is 1 gram lighter and one is 1 gram heavier, that's still gonna add up to 18. But of course, you gotta factor in the broken light part. Anyway, so heavier on the left and lighter on the right, but they're both showing up at 9. However, the fact that one is heavier than the other by default means the numbers can't be the same, so one of those 9s is definitely not a 9. It is possible that one of them is an 8. Oh, I guess I can show this menu. You can start over, quit, take notes, or view hints which you purchase with hint coins. After a certain point in the Layton series, they introduced something called the Super Hint, in addition to the 3 main hints, and the Super Hint is way more expensive, but pretty much spells it out for you as much as they can. So, I can draw stuff if I want. That'll help on certain puzzles. Though it might be a little harder since I'm playing Dot to stream it. Anyway... turn up the game audio a bit, because it's so quiet right now. Okie dokie. Alright, so thinking this through. The display could be showing a 9, and even though that bottom left part is broken, it doesn't matter. The display could be showing an 8, which will make it look like a 9. And I don't think there's any other number that it can show to have everything else lit up like this. If it was a 1, that wouldn't be an issue. If it was a 2, that would be an issue, but we wouldn't have the top section filled in. And so on. 4, 5, 6, 7. So one has to be showing an 8, and the other has to be showing a 9. One of them is showing something that's 1 gram heavier. So that's gotta be the 9, which reduces down to 8. The other one is showing an 8, but it's actually 1 gram lighter on the display. So that 8 becomes a 9. But in either case, that should still add up to 17, shouldn't it? Let's try the memo feature so I can write this out and be absolutely sure before I submit. You can pick your color. I like this purple personally. That's me trying to draw with a Pro controller. Whoops. How does the eraser work with... There we go. Got the motion controls working. Fine, but... Like, label the color. Okay. This one is showing 8, but it should be 9. This one is showing 9, but it should be 8. I'm gonna go ahead and type in the 17 now. Hopefully I'm not being stupid.
I have a feeling that perhaps...
I'm being stupid. Cool. Maybe I'm
mustard at all,
misunderstanding
do
the
I?
question. Yeah, I do know there's only certain numbers it can be a game. I specifically said it has to be an 8 or a 9. Okay, cool. So we're booting the game back up so I can get my picker rats back. I did say I'd be doing that. I gotta be sure I can unlock all that bonus content. Okay, so thinking on it a little more, there's also the possibility that they're both supposed to be showing 8. I didn't really consider, but I was thinking, what if one of them is just showing 9? And even though that section's broken... Okay, now let's pretend both of them are showing 8 and both of them are broken. Well then one is actually 7 and the other is 9, and they instead add up to 16.
So, in conclusion, I don't cut the mustard at all,
Not that
do I?
either, huh? Yeah, but rather than boot up the game again right now, I'm gonna figure out what the answer is and then reboot the game. I thought I had it that time. Now here's just a gut feeling.
I have a feeling that perhaps... I don't cut the mustard at all, do I?
Okay, so no. May reread this carefully. More time. The displays are both broken in the bottom left. That part of the number does not show up. Just like how they're X'd out in the picture. The sugar being weighed is showing up 1 gram heavier than the actual weight on the left, and 1 gram lighter than the actual weight on the right. One gram heavier and 1 gram lighter. Still think it could have been 16 or 17. And it is asking for the total, it's not asking for one or the other. It's the bottom left that's... like, it has to be tied to 8 or 9. There are no other numbers that show up with that much filled in on a regular digital number display. Right, so this... That's so hard to write with duct. Forget the memo. I'll just have to visualize it in my head. A... if the left one is secretly showing 8, and the left one has it showing up 1 gram heavier, then the real weight is 7. And if the right one is showing a 9, showing up 1 gram lighter, then that could be 10. But I already tried 17. If the right one is showing an 8, then that could be 9. But I tried adding that with 7 to make 16. So is there a way... Is there a way that the right one is showing 9, even though the bottom left is broken, it doesn't matter. So that's secretly 10. Showing up 1 gram lighter, it would show 9 instead of 10. And the other one is also showing a 9, showing up, but I tried 18. By that logic, the other one would be 8. Then it could add up to 18. I've tried all the numbers between 16 and 18. Unless I am very much misunderstanding the puzzle, I feel like it A, has multiple possible answers because there's not enough information, and B, I've tried every possible answer I can think of. Do I actually need to use the frickin' hint coin? Hey, I don't want stream to hold on this puzzle forever. I do remember that this particular installment in the Layton series has some bad puzzles. When I played on 3DS, I found actual holes in some of the later puzzles, and I don't look forward to revisiting those. Or they were just badly written. Maybe this was one of them. Should I ask if chat has any ideas on the matter? Okay, you don't need to. I'll let you know if a Rubik's puzzle shows up. Actually, one of my least favorite puzzle types that shows up in Layton is the one where you gotta slide the tiles around in a cramped space to get something out of a box. I don't remember if there's any in this particular Layton game, but that one's shown up sometimes. Okay, I can either start trying numbers until something works. I can look at the hints. Well, I'm gonna get my hint coins back when I reboot the game anyway, so... Let's show off the hint feature. That's what I'm doing. Work out which numbers would not display properly due to the broken... Gee, thanks, game. It's not like it's 8. If that section is broken, and you can see every other section lit up, then it has to be 8 or 9. And if we assume that it's supposed to be showing something and it's not because it's broken, then it has to be 8. I don't know. I swear I'm thinking through the digital numbers in my head. and there's no other number that fits. I'll use my magic laser pointer here. We can see that it looks like a 9. But this section is broken. So it's probably showing an 8. If that section wasn't broken, it might fill in and look like an 8. Though I still hold the notion that it could still be showing a 9. There's no stupid trick here like the unit, right? 16 was actually my second guess. I started at 17 and then went to 16 and then went to 18. Let's see, both scales say grams, and the question has grams as the unit of focus. So there's no trickery going on there. How's 0? Alright, I'll try it in a bit, but the reason I wouldn't say 0 is just because this middle line is filled in. Submitting 0.
If you'll entertain my idea here. That wasn't right. Oh, fiddlesticks.
Yeah, nope, fiddlesticks. Let's unlock the second hint. The 4 numbers that would be affected are 0, 2, 6, and 8. Well, thank you, game. Yeah, a 0 wouldn't look like any number at all. It would just look like... 4... Wait, did it say 4? It shouldn't have said 4. No, 2, 6, and 8. 2, but then the top left and the top right wouldn't be filled in. 6, but then the top right wouldn't be filled in. And 8. What do you know? It should probably be an 8. Look at the numbers 0, 2, 6, and 8 and figure out which ones would turn into other numbers if their bottom left. Have I not been doing this? If I turn off the bottom left for a 0, it's not a number. If I turn off the bottom left for a 2, it's not a number. If I turn off the bottom left for a 6, it looks like a 5. Like, they even say that in the example, the problem description. Am I supposed to assume... Is the picture wrong? Are they actually telling me to assume that it's like a 6 that's been turned into a 5? In which case, if the 6 was turned into a 5, then the 6 would be 1 gram lighter and heavier. 15, read the question again. Yeah, it's 1 gram heavier on the left and 1 gram lighter on the right.
I have a feeling that perhaps... I don't cut the mustard at all, do I?
Let's go back to my 6 theory. Look, I'm a math teacher and I've gotten 5 wrong answers, so I don't think it's you. Alright, let's assume it's supposed to be a 6, and it's displaying as a 5. Then the actual reading is 6, but that's 1 gram heavier, so it's actually a 5. And then the other 6 is 1 gram lighter. That's a 7, but they still add the 12. The same way that 2 6s. I swear to God if it's 12. If it's 12, that means the picture is a liar.
I have a feeling that perhaps that wasn't right. Oh, fiddlesticks.
What's the super hint for 2 hint coins? What is the super hint? What do you mean the only number that would work here is 6? The scale on the right are displaying a weight that is 1 gram lighter than the correct. I understand what they mean now. I still think this is a poorly written question. I'm gonna reboot the game and explain the right answer. Alright, ready to have your mind blown? It's 14. This picture means nothing. Ignore the picture. What they actually meant was not that these are being lit up, but what it meant was that because the scale is broken, one of them looks like it's 1 gram heavier, and because the scale is broken, one of them looks like it's 1 lighter. So the 6, when the bottom left is cut off, looks like a 5. Which means that the one that's displaying lighter says 5, but the actual weight is 6. The other number has to be 9 on the display, because it's a broken 8 that looks 1 gram heavier. And 6 plus 8 is 14. I think this is just the start of a string of poorly written puzzles in this game. I think the puzzle makers kinda lost touch with their craft after 6 previous games in the series. Kinda shows. Let's save and never do that again. Fine selection of cakes, perfect for tea. I think I'm supposed to talk to you now. Have you made your decision? Oh, it's so hard. Everything looks so tasty. By the way, Mr. Lipsky, did you know that the hour hand of one of the clocks in Elizabeth Tower had gone missing? Oh, yes, I know. Of course, my Bratzi is worried about this. Yes, Hans said he was hoping to have it repaired as soon as possible. He cannot relax if clocks are not running as they should. Oh, naturally, I understand how he feels. There's got one other thing I'm supposed to find in here. It's not the trash can. Hint coin in the chimney of the cake house. What I tell you, chimneys are hint coin locations half the time. I already looked at the clock. Anything up with these jars? I've already read this. Back to the flowers. Okay, this is Ernest realizing that those flowers are made of cake. You can't possibly take a bite out of such a beautiful object. So, have you decided what you like? Oh, I'm sorry, we were so busy admiring your decorations. Yes, I think I'll go for some of your, help me say this word, profiteroles, please. No, yes, but you'll have to wait short time if you don't mind. I always make my word fresh. I only put cream into cases when they are ordered, never before. That way, cases remain crisp, like they should be. Ooh, I'm licking my lips already. Good, then I go into kitchen and make for you. Please wait here. 50%? Actually, the rubbish bin's caught my eye. And the one I was trying to click on forever ago. It could do with some being emptied, couldn't it? All the rubbish is spilling out. Yes, which seems out of place in such an elegant shop. It looks like mostly paper in there. Perhaps we should investigate. I wouldn't be surprised if the trash is made of cake at this point. There's lots of shreds of paper in the bin. The sketch of something, by the look of it. I wonder what. You can't tell with the paper all in pieces like that. We'll have to do something about that. Paper, caper. Put them back together as one sheet and work out what the pictures show. The rest of the description is just controls. And you can flip them over by pressing L or R. Alright, let's see, does that fit? Fortunately, I won't have to reboot the game for this one. Because, you know, it's gonna let me keep playing around with it until I get it. I think that's gonna go there. That seems to fit together nicely. There's no rotation, it's just either one side or the other. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. Oh, hold on. Yep, right there. I do know what I'm supposed to be drawing, by the way. Because I've played this before, and this one kind of relates to a plot point. Hey, Nuke, you figured it out. It's just a matter of where I gotta put the pieces. Coming together now. I have to move that piece and flip it over. There you go.
I've seen how to solve this now. And that's how it's done.
So much less annoying than that last puzzle. Putting the pieces on the paper bed together showed a recipe for some bread in the shape of a squid. But on the back of the hay paper is something that looks like the hand of a clock. You're a clock now. You're a squid now. You're a clock now. You're a squid now. Welcome back. Oh look, you can see what it is now. Looks like some kind of recipe for squid bread, apparently. Oh, that sounds really unappetizing even to me, and I'm a dog. Look at the back, though. What's on the back? There's something drawn on the back as well. Let's see. It's the missing hand of Elizabeth Tower's clock. And there are instructions about how to make it, too. It's a blueprint, miss. What the devil is a blueprint of a hand and Big Ben doing in the rubbish bin of Alex Lipsky's patisserie? I think we'll keep hold of that particular piece of rubbish. A cat stealing from the bin? Isn't that a bit of a cliché? This could be a vital clue, Cheryl. And I think it's safe to assume it's no longer something Mr. Lipsky wants. Oh, and here's the man himself, look. Oh, good thing we ordered his special dessert that he had to go make because he makes it to order. How convenient. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, yes, thank you. I hope I see you again sometime. I'm sure that you will. Goodbye now. But now that we've taken care of dessert, I think it's time we headed back. Finally, back to the matter at hand. Oh, but we found the thing in the rubbish bin and we have to drag the thing into its silhouette. So we've got 5 of the 6 clues so far. Reviewing the case. The hour hand was recently repaired by Hans Lipsky, the serviceman. He claims it was firmly reattached after he repaired it the day before yesterday. There's a 6-hour window. According to the Inspector Hastings, the clock had to have been stolen between 10 of midnight and 6 a.m. because people had seen the clock hand before 11:50. The blueprint that we just found in the trash, we pieced it back together even though it was ripped apart. And on the back of the recipe was a blueprint for the very same clock hand we're trying to find. On our way to the bakery, we discovered that a bunch of metal theft has extended to missing cutlery from the restaurant on Chancellor Lane. And I meant to read this first, the fact that there's metal theft at all that's been going on in the capital city. Because, you know, people like to sell scrap metal. Alright, let's head back outside. Alright, Kat, where to next? You've done the restaurants and the cake shop. Please tell me you're full now. Oh yes, I couldn't eat another thing. So, let's carry on down Chancellor Lane. If we keep heading north, we'll arrive back at the office. Oh, I know what you're thinking, miss. We're stopping in for a quick strategy meeting, aren't we, to discuss our next move. Braun, there's a lovely little boutique shop next to the Layton Detective Agency. I thought we could have a peek. Have a peek? A boutique shop, miss. Alright, that's enough, Cat. Get your mind back on the job. Come on, Ernest, back me up here. Well, if Miss Layton wants to find even more delightful clothes to wear, then I'm all for it, actually. Give me strength. Come along, the boutique awaits. Speaking of clothes, is anyone interested in a wardrobe change? I got more daily fashion farthings today. All the same outfits I would have shown off last time. But if you're here watching the stream and you want me to change up the outfit, let me know. I've got 8 farthings to work with. That's 2 outfits. Or we could save up for the dog. Dog will take a bit more time to get dressed up. Whoosh. 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 And one more time, whoosh. Anyway, let me know if you want anything in particular. Well, good luck on that, Nook. Here we are outside the Layton Detective Agency, so where's the boutique shop? It's just next door. Are you really a detective? I'm starting to have my doubts. Will it be open, do you think? Perhaps it's closed for the day. It's just a small shop. You could be right, Ernest. There's only one way to find out. Introducing a staple character of the Layton series, shows up in every game. Granny Riddleton. Oh, were you hoping to buy something in the Lucky Clover? Well, I was hoping to browse at least. Of course you were, my dear. It's run by a lady called Clover Price. Ha, get it? Ha ha ha. She manages the place all on her own, you know. She stocks the most beautiful clothes, and the hats and accessories are delightful too. But since it's just her running the place, her opening hours are rather hit and miss. It's very lucky to be able to pick and choose when she works. She really is a lucky Clover. You don't know anything about her, Cat. Keep your muzzle out of other people's business. Alright, quick hint point search. Clockface you can see from here has its hour hand intact. Time means nothing to me. I get up when the sun rises and sleep when it sets. And you know, a few times in between. Hint coin on the window. Hint coin in the gutter. Yes, I locked up the shop. It says closed for the day. Nothing in the puddle. Outfits on display. 10 hint coins in our sign. Hey, how about this cat? It's got a puzzle. Oh, a little cat. It looks like a stray. Perhaps it's lost, do you think? Or might we'll just have to help it find its mother. This is a ladder lottery. You need to add horizontal lines to reunite the lost ones. You know, like in Mario 64 DS. Shout out to anyone who knows which one I'm talking about. The minigame collection in there. What is the minimum number of lines you need to add? With ladder lotteries, you start at the top, follow a vertical line. When you hit a horizontal line, you have to go along it. Alright, so I have to reunite everyone using as few lines as possible. So this one very much benefits from the memo feature. Alright, so first off, that bear is gonna need to get over 2 spaces. So I could put one here. And I could put one there. For example, I mean I could put them in different spots, but same deal. And the bear would go down and to the right and down and to the right and be back with the bear. But that's gonna throw off the bird. No matter what, it's gonna throw off the bird, because if I don't draw a line between the bear and the bird babies, then the bear doesn't get back. So at some point, I also need a line to send the bird back on track to its mother. They're up to 3 now. If I put that line below the second bear line, then it won't make any hassle. Let's check where we're at with the bunny. Right now, it would head to the left even further away, so I'll just put a line up here. Alright, and then that's all that the bunny's taken care of, but I may need to adjust that because I've also got to consider the monkey. But if I put that line, if I put the monkey's line above the bunny's line, then that's all set. And then by this logic, the deer is gonna go 2 spaces to the left with the lines I've already drawn, and 2 more spaces to the left with other lines I've already drawn. So, as I've demonstrated here, the answer is 5.
So, in conclusion, that's a relief. I wasn't entirely sure.
But isn't it nice when a puzzle is correctly advertised? Meow meow. Yeah, the kitten wasn't worried at all. We just wanted to solve a puzzle. What's this guy? He's shady. Bob Brackett. I think you'll find this place was empty until recently, but someone set up shop here now. Layton Detective Agency, it says on the sign, C, open bracket. In other words, a Snoop service. Close bracket. You can't trust detectives if you ask me. They're as bad as the master criminals they're supposed to investigate. Well, you can trust the Layton name. The agency's motto is, any mystery solved. I make it my personal mission to get to the bottom of any and every conundrum that my clients throw at me. You're the detectives? Oh, Bob, you're such an idiot. It's alright, please feel free to come in for a consultation if there's anything we might be able to help with. Nothing in the fire hydrant? Alright, Bunny boy, you're up. Ha! Benny, get it? Ha 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 ha. Sangrio's famous papoños. Special prize just for you, see? Papoños! Fun fact, Sangrio is a location that you visit in Layton 6, Azran Legacy. And my Animal Crossing island is named Sangria. I just changed the O to an A. As a nod to that, but also a nod to the actual beverage. That's a good beverage. I'm sure I've seen you before somewhere, loitering around suspiciously. I'm not suspicious, I'm Benny! Anyone wearing an outfit like that needs to be treated suspiciously. Papoños are special souvenirs from my homeland, Sangrio. If you have a papoño, they say you can get good luck forever. They say dreams come true. They say you'll live eternally happy. Gosh, it all sounds too good to be true. I think we'll have to decline, I'm afraid. We're in the middle of an important investigation at the moment. Okay, I'm noticing this game has a lot of typos. I mean, there's some things that look like typos, but they're character dialect that they're trying to illustrate. But this one right here is clearly a typo. No, don't say no if you don't like my papoños. How about a puzzle? Puzzling paints. The colors of the paints are representing the appearance of something. Apparently, one of the colors can be seen every day. But which one is it? A is black, B is blue, C is white. Choose one of them. Some puzzles have multiple choice, blah blah blah. Alright, are representing the appearance of something, one of them can be seen every day. If you haven't figured it out in an instant, these are the sky. Regular sky, black sky, and the clouds. Yeah, for like when there's a thunderstorm, the black. Although, I wouldn't say you could see a blue sky every day. Like, there are rainy days, those exist. But there's also cloudless days. And there's days where it's not, like, thunderstorming. Oh, no, wait, what am I saying? It's A. Got me the night sky. Yeah, okay, I just got there, don't worry.
I've seen how to solve this now. Any mystery or any puzzle solved.
That right there is why it's only a 20 picarat puzzle. Fantastic, you got it right. Well, I think that you should have a Sangrio Papoño. Really? For free? For 2/3 of the normal price. No thank you. No? Why does no one want to buy my Papoños? I came such a long way from Sangrio to sell my Papoños all over the world. I was sure Londoners would like them, but nobody shows any interest at all. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Would you like to buy a Papoño to cheer me up? No. Doing business like this, it is not easy. By the way, I don't know where else I'd slot this in, but there's been some channel point reward updates after the last stream. So, I made Sin Mode a tad more expensive and also reduced the time frame of it in case I get it stacked again. And then, Airfoil redeemed add a command. I chose to add it in the form of a new channel point reward, so now you can mess up my controller using the Labo or Ring-Con. A game like this doesn't support them, but I would still stick the controllers in their proper spots and try to play with them anyway. For a few minutes. I believe I listed 3 minutes there. Okay, those small updates out of the way. Let's check the boutique. The door won't budge. Looks like it's closed today after all. Oh bother. Sorry, miss, but at least you can easily come again another day, seeing as it's right next door to the office. But I'm in the mood for shopping now. Do you think it's really closed? You don't think the owner will open up for me? Know when to give up. Dearie me. You young tearaways never look where you're going, do you? Sorry? Just look at that puddle at your feet. Oh goodness, you're right, my shoes would have been ruined. Thank you, madam. I'm very grateful. Oh, don't mention it. Slade is terrible for getting wet, isn't it? It's funny that there's only a puddle here and nowhere else. I wonder why. There's nowhere for the water to drain away, of course. That's the trouble. Speaking of which, there's a fun little conundrum I know about, brains. Brains. Sorry, it looked like a C apostrophe on the overlay. I wonder if you've come across it before. I'm trying to read off my stream feed so that I'm looking more at the camera. Here's some complicated pipe work. If you turn the correct 2 valves out of the 8, water will flow out of all the exit pipes at the bottom. If the pipe splits in 2, water will flow both ways, but only in a downward direction. Select a valve to open or close it, and decide which ones send the water down. Work out which 2 will fill all the exit pipes. Alright, so generally I like to... Generally I would probably memo my way through this. Be like, hey guys, A is gonna fill this. And then this is a downward direction, so A would also fill that one. This is a downward direction. So A would fill 4 of them. B, on the other hand, gonna go behind there. That's gonna split off to here. Little thing. Oops. Okay, very hard to draw with the dot. So, that one also reaches 4 pipes. That said, for sake of time, I'm just gonna try to look at it and work it out from there. Let's see. I don't think it's gonna involve C because A is gonna fill the same pipes as C is, but C isn't gonna go to the left same way that A is. And actually, at least one of the valves either has to be A or E in order to fill the bottom left pipe. E is the only other one that connects to it in this image. And that said, E would also fill a couple other pipes. Actually, let me do it this way. Fine. No, not the hint. Not looking for the hint. Let me do it this way instead. Instead of memoing the whole path, I will just memo where they end. So A is going to be represented by dark green. Wink. Shoik. And shoik. And then I'll switch the color. And now E, I'll do in blue. The E will also fill the bottom left. Oh god, I really shouldn't be trying to memo like this on the dock. Okay, forget that's what I would do if I was on a touchscreen. E does fill a good chunk of them. It fills the second from the right, it fills the one next to the second from the right, aka the third from the right. It fills the bottom left. But it doesn't really fill it. No, wait, it also fills the fourth from the left. So what pipe fills the second from the left? Either A or B. B would fill the second from the left, and it would fill the third from the left. And it would fill the one all the way on the right. And it would fill the fourth from the right. What other ones fill the one all the way on the right? H would. G would. But H is exclusively gonna fill the bottom right, so that's a dumb call. G would also only fill the bottom right from the looks of it. Even though it splits off, both of those splits end up converging at what just leads to the bottom right. On my mind, G and H are totally out. F would also fill the bottom right, but it also splits to the left, where it proceeds to fill the bottom right, but also the fourth from the right. That's at least one other pipe compared to the other two. But E doesn't fill the bottom right, does it? Splits on the left, and it goes all the way to the bottom left. And that splits to the right, but the other right split just fills the second from the right and the fourth from the left. Oh yeah, the second and third from the right, those are the ones you're talking about, right? This is true, and the fact that it fills the bottom left means I wouldn't have to rely on A necessarily. But there could be some overlap. B fills the second and third. And it does fill the bottom right. And it has one other hidden little I think it's B and E. I really should double check rather than just go for it outright, but Alright, B. It goes down, and it goes here, and it fills the second. Goes down, and it goes here, it fills the third. Goes down, goes to the right, and then there's this split to the left that fills this one, and it fills the one on the bottom right. And E comes along and is like, well, look at me, I can fill this and this. And I can also fill the bottom left. The only question is, do either of these fill the fourth from the left? E does. I think that proves it right there.
I've seen how to solve this now. And that's how it's done.
Wonderful, dearie me. I wish I could solve the problem of this puddle like you solved that puzzle. Did it rain yesterday? One of my neighbors said it was raining in the middle of the night, yes. I don't know what she was up to, mind you. Sounds like it was just a passing shower or two, though. Rain in the middle of the night. Oh, look! The final piece. You might be thinking, what do you mean the case is complete? We don't know the answer yet. To which I say, no, but they're about to tell us. Unless you think you know the answer. No one noticed, but a sizable puddle in front of the Lucky Clover attests to a strong shower during the night. That's the final piece of this missing clock hand puzzle. Does anyone want to wager a guess as to what the mystery is? Place your bets now, because the game's going to tell you very soon. Are we ready to solve the case? Now, and in case if you say no to this, then you can keep looking around all the map areas. If you think you missed any hidden coins or collection items or hidden puzzles that you want to go look at, then you can do that now. But I will take one more cursory glance. But I can go back to that menu and solve the case whenever I'm ready. I do feel like there's a chance I missed a collection item here. Thought I heard the cursor beep. Maybe that was Riddleton. In fact, let's take a look at our collection. We found the following hidden items. A reddish wristwatch. It's unusually colored. Perplexing preserve. The lid just turns and turns but never comes off. What kind of gem is inside? And the multicolored macaroon. All the colors of the rainbow. That's 3 of the 40 hidden items. Which again, do nothing. But sit there in this box for you to look at. I even have any items I can change to. Oh, right. I do have 2 other items I don't have to purchase. I could take off the detective coat, or I could put on the Flora dress. Or again, if anyone wants me to redeem any fashion farthings, or any other dress in particular. I don't really need to check daily puzzles, that's a separate mode. Okay, so here's the thing. The protagonist here keeps a journal. Generally, these get to be a bit much, and I don't typically end up reading them because it's a recap of sorts, and there can be a lot of entries. Anyway, the detective agency started up. You got an amnesiac talking dog who they named Cheryl. But then they were asked to figure out why one of Big Ben's clock hands was missing. It was somewhere between 11:50 and 6, according to eyewitnesses who saw the hand before 11:50. Alright, the clock tower was empty last night. There's been metal thefts in the area. We met the serviceman, Hans Lipsky, who had repaired the tower the day before yesterday. No sign of breaking and entering. Scotland Yard also found absolutely no evidence of really anything. Oh, but then we went and visited the shops, and we found a restaurant, and then we went to Lipsky's twin's brother cake shop. His name is Alex. He runs the patisserie. Whatever, he makes realistic looking stuff out of cake. And it rained last night. Of all that said, we should be ready to solve the case. Here we go. Solve the case now. Aha! I've got it. I know what happened to the missing clock hand. You do? Indeed. A mystery is history. Did it then, miss? All in good time, Ernest. We have to call Inspector Hastings first. He'll want to hear this, of course. In fact, yes, I think the results of the forensic analysis should be ready by now. Ernest, could you trot over to Scotland Yard and pick up a copy of the results? You mean the analysis of those samples they took from the scene? Yes, that's right. Once we have that, I'll explain everything.
It doesn't make any sense, Kat. Clock hands don't just go missing overnight.
Well, not necessarily. What if the hand melted during the night? That's a possibility.
No. Just no.
I wonder. Aha! Yes! The hand of the clock must have been an enormous wafer.
Now you're taking the biscuit.
Well, traces of a substance that could be wafer were found at the base of the clock
Put
tower.
me down. Tell me you're making this up, please.
The samples collected from the scene certainly could indicate a wafer-like material. It had me confused at first, but of course, wafer makes...
Oh, sorry, he said it makes perfect
Wafer
sense.
makes perfect sense for a kitty cat. But for the rest of us, who aren't crazy, it's a bit hard to swallow.
I love him being the straw man in all this.
It's the truth that's crazy, not me. Because the truth is stranger than fiction.
Really?
Although this game is a work of fiction. They said so when I started it up.
Someone used to cooking cakes and pastries on a grand scale.
Dun dun dun!
In other words, a confectioner. We're looking for a master wafer maker.
You know, when people typically talk about con men, I didn't think they meant confectioners.
Oh, you again. What do you want now?
Well, Mr. Lipsky, it's about the person responsible for the missing hour hand.
Eh?
It's you, isn't it?
What are you talking about? This is not fair. You can't pick on me. What evidence?
If it's evidence you want, how about this?
It's drawing of hand.
Dun dun dun.
I believe you made this, didn't you? As a plan for your brother, who had you make a giant clock hand out of wafer biscuit.
But why?
I was not enough careful. Like idiot, I made stew. I dropped the hand, and it was broken. Now Ambassador is coming, and we are in pickle.
Okay, so I really need to point this out because it was foreshadowed a while ago. He dropped the clock hand. The hand slipped. Hans Slipski. That is exactly why they named him that.
So you came up with the idea of a wafer hand to buy you some time?
No, yes. It was only thing I could think of. But my Bratzy is not to blame. It was all my idea.
Oh, don't worry, they get worse. I love this series, but this is by far the weakest entry. I don't think anyone would argue that.
Bratzy, no. I thought a plan, not you. Quiet, Alex. I told you just follow what I say.
It's really very charming.
Huh?
The idea of a giant clock hand made of wafer. It's a wonderful notion.
Still, I did not tell truth. I made big mistake. Now, I don't know what me and my Bratzy can do.
The only mistake you made was being born with that name and going into a job where it requires you to be good with your hands.
Oh, that's easy.
Easy?
Yes, make another one. We'll present your wonderful wafer clock hand to the ambassador as a gift. What foreign dignitary wouldn't be delighted by a life-sized replica of a piece of one of Britain's most iconic landmarks?
Huh?
Oh, you British, you know how to entertain, huh? Whatever may happen, you will never exit our hearts.
I don't think that. Wait, what year did that happen? Because this joke might not have aged well from 2017. Well, moving on. So, Ambassador Fordafafa's visit went off like clockwork. Britain's place as a friendly ally to its European neighbors was firmly. I'm going to keep going now.
Oh, Miss Layton, you're amazing!
I can't believe it. That whole wafer thing, how wasn't that just a shaky dog story?
Ah, but you see, Shirl, the truth is always stranger than fiction.
And we're back home. How do you like the basket, Cheryl? Was it comfortable sleeping in there? Yeah, thanks, Ernest. It ain't sleeping on the street, that's for sure. Anything to stay out of the pound. Out of Battersea. Well, if there's anything at all that you need, do let me know. I hear you're homeless at the moment, Cheryl. You're welcome to live here at the office for a while. Yes, that would be a big help. This memory loss thing is a really rough deal. I don't know who I am or where I come from. I just suddenly found myself wandering the streets. That's the first thing I remember. Until you spotted one of our flyers and decided to enlist the services of the best detective in town. Yes, that was one of the leaflets I designed that you picked up, Cheryl. Miss Layton had done absolutely no advertising at all since she set up here, you know, so I decided to take matters into my own hands. Although we still haven't had any business. Apart from a vagrant canine. Oh, well, excuse me for merely being man's best friend. Now, Cheryl, I didn't say I was dissatisfied. In fact, I plan to use your dogginess to the full... Oh, I thought she was gonna say more. To the full. You do? How? Maybe I don't want to know. By having you do what dogs do best. Use your nose. Follow the scent of a villain from the scene of the crime, for example. Oh, I say, Miss Layton, what a champion idea. Yes, Cheryl can perform police dog duties until with his heightened sense of smell, he'll be a wonderful asset. I hate to rain on your parade, but this doggie's nose knows no notable smells at all. Sorry, that was too many no's. You're telling us you can't smell anything? Not exactly, I mean I can smell things, but no better than a human. Really? Oh, what a disappointment. I was thinking I might actually find a use for you. Well, sorry I'm such a letdown. Never mind, I'm sure Cheryl will prove useful in other ways. Oh, the phone. Get that, would you, Cheryl? Why me? Well, if you can't help sniff out the truth, the least you can do is take phone calls. I'm a dog. Oh, get it. It could be someone with a job for us. Can I set you working on, Cheryl? You'll have to pay your way somehow. Cleaning the toilet, perhaps? Or filing? Oh, your paws prohibit so many tasks. Ooh, I've got it. You could be the Layton Detective Agency mascot. We'll stand you on prominent street corners, touting for business. Oh yeah, and I'll throw in a free massage as well. It looks like Ernest is finished on the phone. That was Inspector Hastings from Scotland Yard, miss. Inspector Hastings, does he have a new case for us? A murder, actually. A murder? A big case at last. Well, yes, except, it seems it's not that simple. The inspector said it was probably a murder, but might not be a murder. But actually, it seems probably is a murder. Maybe. It's not that hard. Did someone get killed by someone else, or didn't they? I don't know. But the inspector wants you to meet him at Scotland Yard immediately. A murder that might not be a murder, but probably is a murder, maybe. Well, it's certainly intriguing. What's the matter with you? It's the last day of the Riverside Festival, that's all. I'd rather hope to invite you to accompany me to watch the show this evening, Miss Layton. Oh, yes, I'd forgotten the festival was on at the moment. What kind of festival is it? It's a London tradition. It takes place on the banks of the Thames. It's a hoot, Cheryl. There are these street stalls serving food and drink and stage performances, and oh, it's all rather fun. It goes on for a whole week, but today's the last day. As the climactic finish to the festivities, tonight will be the Riverside Show of Devotion. Yeah, sounds like a real hoot. Oh, it really is. Lots of young men and women who are in love line up on opposite banks of the Thames to face each other and declare their mutual love. What, in front of everyone else? Absolutely. They say that couples who declare their love at the Riverside Festival will find eternal happiness together, you see. And of course he wanted to invite her to this thing. Ha ha ha. Really, I had no idea about that part. It's jolly romantic, don't you think? I was hoping to escort Miss Layton so we could watch the show together, but now... Didn't you say it happens every year? It's always next year then, isn't there, Romeo? Perhaps not, actually. Numbers have been dwindling in recent years, you see. There are rumors they might even abolish the festival altogether. This may very well be our last chance to experience it. I must admit, it does sound appealing. Really? The romance of it all gets to you too, does it, miss? Oh, joy! Sorry, Ernest, it's the food and drink stalls you mentioned that have piqued my interest. Ruled by your hunger, not your heart. You should be a dog. Food at festivals always taste better for some reason, don't you think? It's the atmosphere, I suppose. Oh yes, I couldn't agree more. It's sharing with that special someone. Really does it, isn't it? Yes, well, we mustn't keep Inspector Hastings waiting, I suppose. Come on, we need to pop over to Scotland Yard. Why do I need to come? Because you need to earn your keep. You're getting free lodging here at my office, remember? Unless you prefer the street corner advertising. I'll grab my lead. Starting to think I picked the wrong agency. That's a segue into case 2. Murder on the Thames. So this is the famous Scotland Yard, is it? Not much of a yard. And it's not in Scotland either. As a dog who likes open spaces, both revelations are a bit of a disappointment. It's actually quite imposing. I'll say, don't forget that the Metropolitan Police are responsible for keeping the peace across the entire city of London. This is a very special place, and not least because it's where Miss Layton and I first met. It's one of my most treasured memories. Such a fateful meeting, wasn't it, miss? There's no time for reminiscing, Ernest. Inspector Hastings has a possible murder or maybe not he needs our help with. Come along, let's go in. Oh, sorry, miss. Right you are. Alright, in the bag, case codas are mini episodes that you can view from the bag. Here at the end of chapters. Let's see what ones we got for chapter 1. These short stories tie up some loose ends that were dangling in the main story. We never really found out about the metal thefts and the missing silverware. Ciao, Bella. You are looking as beautiful as ever today, Miss Layton. Oh, thank you. I'm really not all sure that such comments are appropriate. There's something I was hoping to ask you. You told me before that silverware was going missing from your restaurant. See, that is correct. Why do you ask? Well, I was wondering if you managed to discover why it's disappearing. Was it a theft in the end after all? Oh, well, actually, it was a simple misunderstanding. Oh? It's really not very interesting at all. You see, the chef was leaving cutlery on the tables, and the manager was finding them, assuming they'd been left there by mistake, and tidying them away somewhere else. Oh dear, so they weren't actually going missing at all? Just being moved around by different people? How funny. Was it the same story with the silver platter? Oh, well, don't tell me. The silver platter went missing because you took it. No, I. Please, you can't hide the truth from me. It's written all over your face. The truth is, I dropped it once. I dropped it, and it got completely ruined. I thought the manager would be angry with me, so I hid it. The more time passed, the harder it became to own up to the truth. But I will now. I'll tell the manager everything, I promise. Good. Grazie, Miss Layton. You've given me the courage to face my demons. You're very welcome. It's what a gentlewoman does. Oh, bravo, miss. You saw straight through that cad. You sound a little touchy, Ernest. Perhaps you're hungry. Shall we order? I'll have the Mount Etna curried calzone, please. Actually, no, the angry aqua pazza. No, the devilfish for daredevils. Actually, no, I'll have all 3. You're never gonna eat all that. You'll need a doggy bag. Last thing I'll show is I'll show the link to the daily puzzles. These are downloaded from the internet. They were released one at a time, one day at a time, from when the game released, which makes for 365 total. They fall into different categories, but at this point the game's been out long enough that you should have all of them readily available if you're still playing it like I am. So yeah, there we go. That's what the daily puzzles are all about. Just wanted to get that out of the way because it was flashing new. Alright, but on that note, it's 10:30-ish, 10:30-ish, and we're right at the start of the new chapter, so I figure it's better to leave the new chapter for the next stream. So, my next stream will be Saturday. I don't know if I'll be continuing this or if I'll be doing a side game. So, this game will either continue Saturday or next Tuesday. But thanks everyone who stopped by. If you enjoyed what you saw and you haven't already, there's buttons that you can click below that do things like tell you when I go live. Anyway, until then, have a good night. Roll credits.